Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Voices Randomist channel. I'm your host, Eldridge Alexander, and tonight I'm here with you on Motivate Monday. If you have a pen and a pencil, let's go on and get started and talk about things that you might be hearing in your head that you're not really sure what to do with those voices. Okay, so I'm only going to take a few moments of your time tonight, and the reason why I'm a little bit late is because I was actually working on my Shopify store. It's like everything that I do is connected. I noticed, like, so the designs that I complete in my Shopify store create the Voices Randomist channel, our Tea Kettle Talk, Motivate Monday, and the workout is all designed to provide uplifting, inspiring, and engaging information for you to, collaborate and coordinate all of that in one day and just figure out how to make things different. So I've been working on a couple of things because one of the things that happened is I ended up getting a really good promotion at work. And that was the thing that I really want to talk about tonight is how when you vision and prepare for things in your life, they just kind of show up, right? And you don't necessarily know how they're going to show up. So I want to talk to you about something that happened to me. So hold on one second. I don't want us to get interrupted. One moment. Okay. So check this out. I tuned in to Facebook this morning. There was a post on there, and this lady was talking about listening to voices, and she said that this voice told her to move, and she didn't really understand why the voice was telling her to move. So, and literally pick up, move your house, and go to a new location, right? So, oftentimes people discard the voices that are in their head and you just put them off, right? Well, I was thinking about when I actually relocated 15 years ago for my job. And it was kind of like I was with a different company. I was with Time Warner Cable at that time. And it's really kind of interesting how things just line up when you have a goal in your life and you have a vision and you don't really know how you're going to get there. But then the right people line up with the right places and the right opportunities take place, right? So I was thinking about like in 2007, I was 2 years into my job at Time Warner Cable, and I was thinking, I was like, I really like the role and everything. And then what happened is a division merger took place, right? Appleton and Milwaukee all merged. So it was like the offices that they had together, it wasn't separate anymore. They made it an enterprise, which happens is when you make something enterprise, you train it for everybody across the company. Well, there was the person that was here. She didn't want to be on the team anymore. Now I didn't know what was going to come out of that. And I'm just telling you that to just kind of listen for a minute, hang in here with me. I did not know in my head when the young lady who was here, like I was saying, all the moving parts, I didn't know that when she left, that I was going to be asked to come to where I live now, right? So I was skeptical and I was really worried. And the thing about it is because I didn't know anything about the area, small rural area. And that's the thing when you're talking about having to step out on faith and stuff, a lot of times what'll happen is you ask for something in another life or in this life or earlier on, you plant those seeds in the ground and the universe remembers those seeds. And at some point in your life, you start putting water on them, philosophical water, tangible water, whatever you want to call it. For the most part, it's philosophical water. You start thinking about what you want to have grow, right? So you plant those seeds and you forget about them. And then later on down the line, things just start happening and moving in your life. And if you pay attention to it, happen is there'll be things that'll start moving you closer to the thing that you requested really early on in your life. You could be sitting down saying, oh, I want to be a doctor when I grow up. Oh, I want to be a teacher. Oh, I want to be a great orator. You never know what's going to happen to get you there. So I was thinking about this lady this morning when she was talking about how that voice told her to move, right? And she was like, I was like, I don't really know what this is about, but she picked up her house and stuff. And what happened is that she was living in a small town where her business was, and by her moving, without knowing what's going to happen, she ended up turning her business into something really lucrative that actually ended up surviving COVID. So when me and my late husband moved from Milwaukee to the Appleton area, for Time Warner Cable, I had no idea because when I looked up the population, it said that it was 0.5% Black people, right? And I'm used to being the only person. That's the thing. I've been the only person going into these environments where I'm the only person that looked like me or what have you, but I was there and I was able to survive and thrive in it. So when I moved from Milwaukee to here, I felt like I've been set up from the time that I was 9 years old when I started going into the Jewish community in Highland Park, when I was introduced to opera and ballet and stuff like that, and they take you to their homes and you kind of can see another way of life. And I was introduced at an early age, but I didn't know it was going to be the setup for me to be able to cope with being the only one in the area which I live now, because you have to have strong fortitude in order to get up every single day and go out of your house and not see people that look like you, or to live in a neighborhood where you're the only one that really you have to be a strong person, because we always long for what it is similarity, right? That's why people hire people that are like them, because you want to be surrounded and work with people that are like you, and you pick friends that are like you, because we don't necessarily want the dissension that comes when you have difference, right? So we tend to pick people who are like us, or the other piece is somebody that fills in a void, and we could talk about that. So when we moved from one location to the other, I didn't realize it was a setup for what's happening now, because by me moving to this location, this is a very underrepresented, can't even talk tonight because I'm so excited, underrepresented area, right? And what I mean by 1/2 of 1% of the population that lives in this area. So it affords you opportunity that you don't necessarily get to have when you're in a larger city, because of the fact that you are invisible, because there's so many people that are like you. When you take a journey and you go into an area to be where people don't look like you do stand out, and you get an opportunity to reshape people's thinking about you. So I believe that maybe that's why the setup happened when I was 9 years old, to be able to understand. And always, I went to an all boys high school, Milwaukee Boys Tech. In 1972, they converted, they started letting girls in. I went there. I was one of it was like 20 some girls, like I'm telling you. So again, that was a setup, fish out of water, learning how to thrive in areas where you don't really understand what's going on, but you learn how to survive, and you get a stiff backbone, and you have a strong upper lip, and you learn how to take those jabs that are going to come at you in corporate America when you're the only one there, right? You learn how to use different type of tactics to talk to people and manage the anger that you might have when people say stupid stuff to you. So I didn't realize that at the age of 9, until I actually started my liberal arts degree when I went back to school, right? And then I started studying psychology, and I understood what Freud was saying. He said that, like, between the age of 8 and 9, you have this developmental imprint that happens in your brain, and you kind of decide who you're going to be and what you're going to be. Well, at 9, if you're getting exposed to all of the different people who are not like you, then you learn to adapt and adjust, and you develop what they call muscle memory, right? And that muscle memory is so that when you get into different situations, you understand the environment shifted, and that you have to adapt and you adjust. And so you get the opportunity to learn how to do what's needed in corporate America. And you think about it, with diversity and inclusion the way it is right now, you have to be able to work with people at all different levels, from a variety of different backgrounds, right? You have to be able to communicate effectively with those people as you move from person to person. Because remember, when you have a conversation with people, if you're having a conversation and it's 10 people, you having 11 different conversations, because everybody understands what it is that you're saying differently. So what I was saying is that when I had the fear and everything, I remember the voice in my head actually saying, Eldridge, you can do anything. And this takes me back to when I was studying for my graduate review exam, right? I was sitting down, I was watching TV, I was watching Rugrats. My daughter was gone next door to hang out with her friend, Julie. And I was at home by myself. My ex-husband was at work. I had 2 dogs. One was in the upstairs, like chilling out. The other one was in the backyard, because he always liked to just hang out. So I'm sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden I hear the dog barking, right? And it's like 5 minutes to 8. And how do I know? Because I know what show comes on. So Rugrats was coming on. I thought, oh, why is the dog barking so much? So I go out there, and something said, Eldridge, just go look. So I go and I look, right? And at the same time, I notice that there's this haze after like I was living in a bungalow, like, so it's living room, dining room, kitchen. I had to walk from the living room, the dining room, to the back office to answer the phone, because I had decided to watch TV in the front and screen and go through this one book, this theory book that I have. Because anybody that knows me know I love reading academic stuff. I read all this crazy stuff that most people don't understand, but I like reading. I like to challenge my brain. But anyway, that's another whole story. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden the dog is barking. I put the phone down. I go back in, and I look, and I see all of this haze, and it doesn't really register, right? And then I look and my house is on fire. I had accidentally knocked over a candle. And because we were doing some work in the house was on fire. I'm telling you. Now I'm in the back, and then in order to get, there's 3 doors, right? Where I'm standing, I'm literally looking out the side door so I could walk straight out that door. There's another door to my right. I could walk out that door. And in the front door, you got to walk through the whole kitchen to the dining room, to the living room to go out. And then, mind you, because I live in the hood at that time, the inner city, Sherman Park, it's deadbolts all over everything. And I don't even have the keys in the door, right? But one of the things that works for me is I'm kind of OCD and organized. So when I walk in the house, I always put my key in my phone and my purse in the same spot. Thank God. Because that night when I was standing in the kitchen and the house was on fire and I was trying to put out the fire, you could look at me, you see nothing. I heard a voice say, Eldridge, gone out. Gone out. And oftentimes when we hear voices in our head telling us to do something, we question it, right? We question it and we stop and we say, well, am I hearing things? Am I crazy? No. Or sometimes you'll just be daydreaming and something off the wall, or you'll see a vision. You ever saw a vision and then it happened and you think, oh my God, this is deja vu. I saw this before, and then you just push it off. The universe does prepare us for things. It gives us voices. It gives us clues. We just have to stop for a minute and pay attention. So that's why I'm saying this morning when the lady was saying to me, when I opened up that one video and it was saying, this voice is saying for you to stop and listen and just think, and you need to tell somebody this. I'm telling you the same thing she told me. Stop, look, listen, and slow down. Listen, because there's messages and things that you might be missing, thinking that what you got to do is so important. You're in such a hurry to do things that you missed the message that could save your life. Because if I would have been like, oh, forget that noise or whatever, would have just said, forget that, I could have literally died in that fire, or there could have been other things that have happened to me. So getting back to when I transitioned from one place to another, I was really afraid to come and move to an area where all your life you go into places where people don't look like you, either through school, work, or whatever it is, showing up being the only person of color, female, or whatever. And so it's like it gets tiring after a while, right? But there's always this voice in me that just keeps saying, Eldridge, keep going, keep going. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I'll go inward, introspective, and then I'll try to figure out how to re-energize and how to rejuvenate myself so I can come back and do it all over again. And that's kind of what happened to me at my job for the last, in my entire career, but these last 4 years, I really have been pushing because I see the injustices in the world, and I feel like that I've been prepared to actually help to train people to understand the pain that they're feeling and how to cope with that pain, and understand that because of all of the structures we have in place, whether it's sexism, whether it's racism, whether it's against people's weight, that we have these isms, that we all have knee-jerk responses to something in our life where messages have been poured into our head over and over and over again, whether they're conscious messages or subconscious messages. We have messages that keep being poured in us. So this week, what you might want to do is just grab a pen and a pencil and keep it by you. And when a message comes in your head to tell you to do something, write down what the direction was. If you were told to do something, write it down. And I don't care what time of day or night it is, because I tell you, I get up in the middle of the night, and the things that I actually learned to help me in the middle of the night, I'm going to give you another example before I log off. So like I work on my store, voice of the Yo-Gear store, right? Plus, I do all the editing and everything on the videos, upload. Basically, something helps me. So like I was struggling with one of the things with Google, so your stuff can show up, and it kept disapproving my product. I was like, what the hell does it keep doing that? I could get it on every single thing, Shopify, Shop, Apple Pay, everything, but Google was giving me fits. I was laying in the bed probably at 2:00 this morning. I woke up, in my brain, I was figuring out what I was seeing. The reason why it took me a delay to get on here is because I figured out, I fixed the problem. I'm in there editing it now, and the stuff is showing up as active. I don't know what I did. All I did was added some tags and something else, but something told me to get up. And as I was thinking about it early this morning, I knew I had resolved how to fix the issue, but I worked all day in my corporate role. And now I'm in here fixing these products, and I'm so happy because everything went from red to green. And do you know that that is a great feeling when a voice in your head gives you direction, you follow the direction, and you see finished product? Do you know what that's like? It's amazing. I got to tell you, if you're sitting on the couch and you're not taking notes of this, you're doing yourself a disservice, because what I found out is I figured out that I know what my purpose is in life. It's literally to bring information to people and help them to understand how they already have everything they need inside of them in order to do what it is they need to do. I had everything I needed when I built my portable fitness floor. I had everything I needed when I wanted to do this YouTube channel. I had everything when I started building the Yo Gear store and voices. I didn't even realize what I had until I stopped for a minute. Just stop for a minute. The first thing you need to do is assess, right? Be aware, assess what you have already, right? If it's something you want to do, stop and assess, what do I have right now that will help me finish what I want to do, right? Because chances are, if the universe has put an idea for a product, an idea for some type of problem solving invention, chances are you already been set up to have access to the right people, the right tools, the right equipment, the right knowledge. The thing is you just gonna have to act on it. You can't continue to just sit there and let it be a dream, right? And that's the same thing that in my role as cultural transformation leader, which is a new role that I've taken on at work, it's the same thing. We've had conversations for years about social injustice and what structural racism is and what unconscious biases, which I say is all bias because you have to think about what you're going to do. We've had these conversations. Now it's time for people to move to action. And I'm saying the same thing to you. This is 2021. We already almost at the end of March, and chances are you made some type of a commitment at the beginning of the year saying that this is something that I want. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. But ask yourself, have you listened to the direction that you're getting? Because if you said you want to do it, chances are the universe put it there for a reason, and you getting direction. You just got to stop and understand what the direction is and document it. So stop. I want you to stop. Be aware of what's in your universe. Be aware of what's in your surrounding that might help you to get to the goal that you aspire to have, right? Because everything is there. The second thing is that no matter how stupid it is, no matter how small, how trivial it is, just we got to do one or two things that's going to move you in the path. Like I said, I get frustrated some days because I'm the type of person, I want to finish something and I want to move on, and I will sit there for hours and hours until I get it. That's what they say tenacity is. I don't know what you call it, but that's what they've been saying it is that I'm tenacious, and resilience is the ability that when you don't get it right and you feel like you're down, you get back up. You know, that you don't stay down, right? That's what it is. And courage is the will to literally go for it in the face of everything when you don't even see what's going to happen, or you only can see the bad things that have happened out of it. Now, the things that I've learned about when the bad things happen is it's kind of trying to tell you to go into another direction. It's not a don't quit attitude. It's not don't quit. It's go in a different direction. Take a different strategy because this ain't working. Remember Thomas Edison, and I'm sure that all the stuff that when George Washington Carver and everybody else was creating inventions and stuff, I'm sure that they didn't just go in the first time and get it right, right? You think about that. I go back to the driving analogy. You don't just get your keys and pull out. You practice a little bit. I hope you do. So that's what I'm telling you. First of all, be aware. Be aware of what it is that you really, really, really want to tap into it. And be aware of your surroundings. Do an inventory, a personal inventory of what it is that's in your surroundings that are going to help you get what it is that you need, or to be where you want to be, or to buy what you want to do, promote, whatever it is that you want to do, right? Assess. That's the first thing, because if you think about any process, you have to know what it is that's in your environment. And then back up and say, how can this help me in my environment to move to my future vision? So if I know what it is that I want to do, then what are the tools that I have already, and what is it that I need? And then the second piece, or the third piece, the final piece is, where's my support resources? Who has what I need to fill in the gap? So next week when I talk to you, I'm going to talk to you about how different relationships, how every single relationship that you have, the person that's coming into you is doing exactly what we're talking about now, preparing you for the future. They setting you up for the come up. So when you ready for what it is that the universe is preparing you for, your purpose, and all the tools are there, you have all the knowledge and your skills and your attitude is right, then the right people are going to come and those opportunities are going to come there for you. So again, as we recap the night, I'm Eldridge Alexander. You're on the V.O.I.C.E.S RandomISH channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Get that pen out and do those 3 things. Assess where you are, right? That's the first thing. Become aware. Then understand what you have in your environment that you already have to do what it is you want to do. And then the things that you don't have, think about what your support resources are to get them. All right, I'll see you next week. I hope you have a great night. And don't forget to tune in and watch us tomorrow night on Tea Kettle Talk. I'll probably be with you at WellNet Wednesday on Wednesday night. And also, again, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so excited to be promoted at work and to be able to do this work and see that everything actually overlaps. When you get to this place in your life, you're going to find that everything you do, you're going to want to do it and nothing will feel like work. And that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm just trying to pass that on, okay? All right. I hope you have a really great night. And thanks again. Leave me a comment if there's something else that you want to learn about. But I'll see you next week when we talk about people and relationships and how they fill your gaps. Have a great night. Motivate Monday. We'll see you next week. Bye.